Welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier paranormal preparedness and soup forward-thinking podcast. My name's Jordan Dahl.
My name is Roger Norquist.
Today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by Monstroco Forbidden Spice. Grown in the desert by mute men with long knives, one taste and you shall see farther than the greatest sheiks of antiquity. Know the past, know the future, taste eternity with Monstroco. You do become property of Monstroco if you eat food made with the forbidden spice.
Like even as just like a garnish?
It's forbidden. It's forbidden for a reason. You have to sign a waiver, but it is good.
I put so much on my Chinese, like it was MSG, man.
You will have to have it on every meal from now on.
Oh,
You'll know when you're getting low. But man, do you see? Roger, do you see? Wow.
So many things.
I see. I finally, eyes on the inside. That's what it says on the jar. Boy, the forbidden spice, guys. Try it. And that's not the forbidden spice talking. I don't think. Anyway.
You first?
I would like to go first this week because I'm feeling
saucy.
I'm feeling saucy.
Oh,
I'm feeling sassy. I'm feeling fancy and free. And I'm feeling flashy. I feel Hollywood's going to be knocking down my door.
Oh, did you write that script?
Any day now. I finished it. Pippi Longstocking versus Predator. I think my agent says that Venn diagram doesn't exist. I say we make it. We build it out of iron and sweat. I did see Predator Badlands.
Good.
It's fucking good.
I heard only great things. Even people who were skeptic understood it. It quashes a lot of qualms people be having.
It's fucking good. And we're getting a little taste of the Predators culture, which I love a lore book. And they're not revealing too much about it. It kind of just is what it is, and you're left to guess at, like, I wonder why they do that. It's very cool.
Nice. What do they do every December 25th?
Death, kill. There's a lot of like, it's time to fight for your life again.
Only the strongest will remain.
Yes, exactly. Go watch it. It's really good. But it got me thinking about Hollywood, got me thinking about how the Comedy Store is haunted, and not just by the fans of Kill Tony. There's a lot of places in Hollywood that are supposedly haunted. I figured, hey, let's take a walk down Hollywood Boulevard. Old haunted Hollywood. Who's that over there? It's the ghost of Charlie Chaplin's brother, Eric Chaplin, who wasn't silent. He spoke too much. That's why they blackballed him. He named names.
Dark history down that road. I bet the ghosts
a lot of
are
history
good.
down that road. They've also got Hollywood Forever Cemetery. You know about this thing? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Is that where all the celebrities are buried? Like singers too? Like a good mix of just Hollywood celebrity.
Mel Blanc is buried there, and his tombstone says, "That's all, folks."
Nice.
Hysterical.
Solid.
Great goof.
We could bring him back.
Bugs Bunny is buried there, and his tombstone says, "Now is an eternity for once a comic figure laid here, the laughing lagomorph of yore."
I forgot that quote from Bugs Bunny.
This is just some dour fucking Victorian shit.
I believe that was a cutscene from Space Jam.
Yeah. That was a weird one. Yeah, when Bugs Bunny's doing heroin and listening to jazz. Reading the classics. Okay, so first up, we're gonna start at the top. The Comedy Store.
Okay.
Comedy Store. I've been there. I've seen some of the funniest people I know tank on stage because they didn't say slurs that were hot at the time. And I've seen people crush there. So go if you will. I steer clear. That's the end of my endorsement. The Sunset Strip has long been known as the playground of the stars. This is from Britannica.com. So it's the real shit.
This is solid. Like they check their source.
They got a British guy back there.
I think he's from Liverpool. His accent's slow.
It all seems all right to me. That was Welsh. Don't know what I did. Cut that out. That was horrible. Okay. The Sunset Strip has long been known as the playground of the stars. The brightest stars, the biggest moguls, and the most Oscar-winningest artists dined, danced, and romanced in clubs along the strip.
That was a bad sentence.
Well, a lot of it was my own learning disability. The most popular rendezvous, Ciro's, opened in 1940. Today, it is called the Comedy Store.
Okay.
World famous laugh club, but late at night, the ghosts of Ciro's rule the roost. One night, on his way out the back door, comedian / security guard Blake Clark heard banging on the piano in the belly room, a small venue on the second floor. That's maybe the only room that I've ever told jokes in there.
Nice. The haunted room?
Yeah. Some of the waitresses had already reported odd occurrences there. And it might not have even been me. Maybe I was there for Nicole's show. Anyway, pranks, really. One of the young women would open the room, light candles, arrange the tables, and leave. 5 minutes later, she'd return to find the candles out, the lights off, the door locked. When she returned with the key, she'd find the door open and the room set up again. Clark rushed upstairs when he heard the piano, thinking someone was locked in. As soon as he unlocked the door, the noise stopped.
Freaky.
That's a ghost, right?
That's some poltergeist. I guess not noisy,
geisting.
But yeah, that's geisty.
My dude's up here geisting.
What was it before? Sorry, stoner moment for me there.
Ciro's,
which was
a nightclub, a popular nightclub. Hollywood nightclub of the 40s.
I gotta say, you've been around too. A lot of comedy clubs, former nightclub in sense.
True.
Each one I've been to has been haunted like this.
Yeah. There's a lot of energy flowing around comedy clubs in particular. I mean, we're there to conjure this etheric thing that we don't fully understand.
A wild emotion ride, We go from depressed to happy for 5 minutes to depressed again.
Wildly depressed people trying to make you laugh. It's a cocktail for ghostery.
Except for Happy Joe. I acknowledge your change.
Happy Joe. The brain injury really helped.
Wear a helmet while riding a motorcycle, people.
Exactly. Man, I have a collapsible helmet that I wear, which feels counterintuitive, but you think you look as dorky as you can, and then you put a collapsible helmet on. Anyway, where were we? Here's someone banging on the piano. He flings the door open, noise stops. He flips on the light, no one's there, of course. He checks all the corners, locked up. As he turns to leave, what do you think happens?
A chair gets set down, like it starts setting up the room.
The piano.
Or a door opens.
The piano starts again.
Piano.
He heard it again. Somebody deliberately banging on the keys of the piano. That seems like a very specific word use too, like banging, like bang, bang, clong, bang, bang.
Wonder if it was maybe a joke, kind of as well. Like the person talked at the nightclub. He'd be like, some people play piano like this, but you're lucky tonight because I'm smooth.
Okay, sure. Clark heard the piano on numerous other occasions. There was never anyone to be seen in the room, just a playful spirit with a tin ear having a laugh.
Or maybe that sounds fun too.
Another night, Blake made the final rounds in the large showroom, which had been Ciro's main room. He moved to lock up, but stopped in his tracks. A chair on one end of the stage began to slide across to the other side.
It's a good bit.
Awesome. He stood frozen, watching as the chair glided effortlessly 3 feet, 10 feet, 20 feet.
He's got a yardsticks. He's all like, hold on, I'm measuring the last one.
Do it again. Okay, I recorded it.
20 feet, huh?
In a flash, he found his feet and got out of there. Still another night, he went to the rear of the empty stage to turn off a light. Seconds later, he turned around to find 40 chairs silently piled center stage 10 feet away. That's from Poltergeist. You're lying.
I have seen similar things, benefit of the doubt, in some videos to where, like, there's one specifically. There's some noise happening downstairs. The kitchen is set up normal. They go downstairs. Then they hear a clang up top. They come back and all the chairs are stacked on the table weirdly.
I've heard that too. I've
seen it.
I don't know.
And it could be fake. This is a video. I'm an editor of video. Mm-hmm. You could make this happen easily enough. There were plenty of marks where you could do an edit point.
This all rang pretty true to me until right there. I don't know. Take that as what you will.
I guess I've never seen Poltergeist all the way through.
Yeah. You should watch Poltergeist. It's fucking scary, actually.
Okay.
Number 7, the Hollywood Reporter / LA Weekly offices. In 1936, Billy Wilkerson created a beautiful office for his newspaper, Hollywood Reporter on Sunset Boulevard. The Reporter is where Wilkerson put his blood and sweat, where his heart was, and where it remains. Good writing, Britannica.
Yeah.
Though he died in 1962, a remodeling of his former offices seems to have the maestro editor pacing the halls again.
Ooh.
The Reporter moved to larger quarters in 1992. The following year, another paper, the LA Weekly, took over the space. But before they moved in, construction worker Jerry Brake, working on the building's seismic upgrading, cool, earthquake doctor, everything was demolished save Wilkerson's office upstairs during the construction. Brake was often in the building alone. On occasion, at his desk, he caught a movement out of the corner of his eye, a flash of someone passing his door. Most of the time, he dismissed it as some trick of the light. Then, late one night, when Brake was alone in his office, he distinctly felt something tap him on the back. He jerked around, but nothing was there. He stepped out of the office and took a look down the hallway. Nothing. He walked past a room to the left of his office and saw a figure in the corner. He looked past it to a mirror that stood in front of them both, but Brake saw only one reflection, his own. He looked back at the figure. It was gone.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah.
I've heard that in a couple newsrooms and stuff.
Yeah, that's
my
weird.
mentor in college, Fred Brown, said similar things of the Rocky News place.
Interesting.
Former editors, it's a passionate place to be.
Yeah. A few days later at 5:30 a.m., Brake was alone when he heard a noise and followed it the length of the front hall down toward the stairs. He clearly heard footsteps walking in front of him the whole way. Brake ran after the footsteps, and as he came around the corner, he could almost see a figure, but the lighting was bad. He checked the whole building. He was alone. As the remodeling progressed, even the grand staircase was removed, leaving an elevator as the only access to the second floor. Late one night, architect Ted Powell was in Wilkerson's office with a woman from the LA Weekly. Alone in the building, the pair heard what sounded like a broom handle on the ceiling directly under them. Boom, boom, boom. No easy feat, as the ceiling was 9 feet high. They took the elevator down, but found no one. Just as they were satisfied that it was nothing, they heard footsteps above them in Wilkerson's office. They left immediately.
I could do that. 9 feet.
I could do that too.
Yeah, I think my reach is up there.
This is one of those things that the circumstance, though, is
it's weird. Yeah,
I'm
not trying to debunk it. I'm just proud I'm tall.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, that's about 9 feet in here. 6. The Santa Monica Pier and Carousel. This one's important to me. I've spent a lot of time at the pier, and particularly the carousel.
Nice.
So number 6, built in 1876, the Municipal Pier in Santa Monica is one of LA's oldest, most famous attractions. For years, rumors have circulated about a dark, shadowy figure wandering on the roof at night or riding the carousel horses.
Neat.
That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool spot to haunt. It's one of the city's most notable ghost legends, yet very little is known about it. This sounds like Batman. Just throwing it out there. Inside the Hippodrome is one of the best preserved all-wood carousels in the country. A Wurlitzer brand organ provides a calliope music. I guess we call it Wurlitzer in America. It opened to brisk business Saturday, June 10th, 1916. Years later, the original carousel was replaced and the offices were converted into apartments. During the 60s, it attracted all kinds of bohemians, writers, musicians, beachcombers, hippies, and a faction who would be influential in LA's art scene.
That's us. Beachcombers.
Their notorious 2- and 3-day parties often spilled out onto the roof and attracted artists like Robert Rauschenberg. David Pan, pier maintenance supervisor for 20 years, remembers the scant details of ghostly sounds heard after the parties were over, told to him by former tenants. Late at night, when everything was quiet, Pan said, the tenants heard someone walking down the hallway, but when they got up to look, no one was there. Residents also heard the calliope music from the carousel. Again, they would run downstairs but find no one. They had no clues as to who their ghostly visitor might be, but this was not an isolated incident. It happened many times. The apartments were destroyed by fire in 1975, but were restored as offices in the early 80s when the pier was put on the National Register of Historic Places. No one is around late at night anymore. That was the only time the ghost was ever heard, says Pan, adding, besides, everyone up there works for the city now. No imagination.
I'm looking at a job in the city, and it is a requirement, unfortunately. My imagination will have to be operated on and killed.
Yeah. They take it out pretty painlessly to you. The imagination suffers greatly. Number 5, Avalon. This venue, known by a variety of names throughout the years, opened as the Hollywood Playhouse in 1927, one of 4 legitimate theaters in Hollywood.
Wait.
That's right. None of those back alley counterfeit theaters. Well, that's not Shakespeare at all. That's a bald cap. A new owner changed the name in 1942 and changed it to the El Capitan. The house set a record for the longest running variety review in the history of legitimate theater. Ken Murray's Blackouts during the 50s and 60s. Oh, that was the name of the longest running variety review.
I'm still stuck on legitimate theater. Like, do they mean porn shows and there's a longer running porn show?
I think they just mean, well, yes. And I think they also mean like there were plays going on at other places that weren't paying their dues to the theater guild or whatever.
Is this like an off-Broadway affair?
Yeah, maybe. I also
like my sense on what off-Broadway is.
Yeah. Anyway, this review called Blackouts ran for years. In the 50s and 60s, it was often the backdrop for TV specials and variety shows. Today, as Avalon, it has been remodeled as a lavish nightclub used for television specials, premiere parties, and film locations, as well as a showplace for top music artists. Those star-studded nights provided special memories for theater goers. Some have returned for an encore. An invisible jazz pianist plays after hours in the intimate club room upstairs. Perfumed women in high heels are heard and smelled, but not seen. A dashing man in a tux has roamed the theater for decades. A couple decked out in their best 1930s duds sip drinks in a private box. This place is haunted AF.
Yeah, this...
Harry, a former electrician from the Blackouts, is a prankster. High above on the catwalks, he enjoys tying cable in knots or taking tools. Over the years, dozens of women have reported a girl sobbing in a locked stall in the main lobby women's lounge, and patrons continually complain about talking in the balcony during the show, even when it's closed. There's a cold spot up there, and daytime employees report a woman's blood-curdling scream from there. The other cold spot is near the backstage stairs. Some of the spirited behavior may be part of the same story. Legend has it, a chorus girl broke up with her technician boyfriend at the backstage stairs, then went on stage. Moments later, the jilted lover climbed to the catwalks and threw himself onto the stage, dying in front of the gal who'd done him wrong.
Wow. Dramatic.
Truly.
Perfect for the theater.
Yeah. Great story, cool spot. The Avalon in Hollywood.
Avalon, which went on to be known as the El Capitan. I looked. I thought it might be where Paris by Night does their comedy show. It is not.
The Pantages. I've been to the Pantages. I'm sure some of you have been to the Pantages. Oh, these next ones are excellent. These are the top ones. If you've been bored so far, lean forward in your chair or stool or beanbag.
To be honest, this is one that I have been goosebumps the entire time.
Nice. The Pantages Theater, Hollywood's last glorious movie palace. It is fucking crazy in there. It is like, it's palace is the right word. You go in and you're like, oh, wow. Open on June 4th, 1930, near the fabled corner of Hollywood and Vine, an Art Deco masterpiece. It's still considered one of the most beautiful theaters in the world. In 1949, millionaire aviator Howard Hughes turned studio owner when he took the reins of RKO Studios, including its flagship theater. In 1949, millionaire Howard turned studio owner. Oh, I see. Hughes loved the Pantages and set up a plush offices on the second floor. Today, Hughes is seen time and again in the executive offices, and his footsteps are heard throughout the building. Assistants in the outer office know he's approaching when the room fills with the smell of cigarette smoke, which Hughes despised.
Interesting.
Then the young Hughes, tall, lanky, dressed in a plain suit, strides around a corner and walks through a wall that was the original doorway to his office. A female presence also calls the theater home. Back in 1932, a female patron died in the mezzanine during a show, presumably of mezzanine poisoning. After some time passed, when the auditorium was dark and quiet, the voice of a woman could be heard singing, sometimes in the day, other times late at night after everyone had gone home. Employees at the Pantages developed a theory about the voice. The unfortunate young woman who died in the theater may have been an aspiring singer who'd come to see one of the musicals so popular in the early 30s. She now lives out her dream of performing at the Pantages. And she's lost her stage fright. Her voice has been picked up on microphone on stage and carried over the monitor during a live performance.
Ooh.
Engineers actually picked up the voice of someone who was not visible on the stage. Wow, that's cool. I'd like to find that audio.
Yeah, that's a freaky one because that means that it's causing a sound wave, which is some tangibility.
Number 3, Grauman's Chinese Theater. I've been to this one too. It's very cool.
Where haven't you been? You're such a wordly man.
That's true. I've been thrown out of every movie palace for asking why their hot dogs are so short. For his last of 4 theaters, Sid Grauman planned something so unique and magnificent inside and out that it would outshine all other theaters in Los Angeles, arguably still to this day. He and architect Raymond Kennedy chose a Chinese temple as an inspiration, created a soaring 90-foot pagoda adorned with a 30-foot dragon and ceremonial masks and topped with an ornate copper roof. But it is the forecourt that makes this the most famous movie theater in the world. That's where Grauman displayed his most ingenious idea, concrete blocks with the hand and footprints of the stars.
Oh.
Grauman also built salons for private parties after a premiere or the Oscars, where he and his famous friends would celebrate comfortably. He hid buzzers near lamps in the lobby to signal people inside to open the secret panel. Sadly, these rooms have long been sealed and all buzzers disconnected, but for some, that doesn't matter. For weeks, an employee heard buzzers in his upstairs office. He thought it was an errant office intercom. Eventually, he realized it was the buzzers for the secret salons coming from the inside the sealed rooms.
Whew, that got me freaked.
And the theater has a resident ghost, Fritz. Fritz, it seems, worked for the theater, though no one's sure when. Apparently despondent, he hanged himself inside behind the movie screen. Since then, his presence has been felt throughout the theater. Everybody knows him, and no one is frightened.
Oh, so he's like a Casper. He's not appearing in his hanged form, is what I'm saying, you know?
Yeah. How did Casper die?
SIDS. No, he was like it was a tragic thing. I'm trying to think if they explain it in the movies.
Scarlet fever.
I want to say, yeah, it's like a disease. Something that way, like it's that. Not like a. Yeah. It's tragic, but it's not like, you know.
Right. It's not like
vicious or violent.
Right. He wasn't gunned down by cops after robbing a bank.
Yeah, it was somewhat pleasant.
Pleasant. They took barbiturates.
Casper, American hero. How do you die? Shooting a cop.
Blaze of glory. How else? Actually, it says right here, Casper died when he went out for one last big wave.
That's another good one.
It says he died in a drag race. No. Number 2, the Warner Pacific Theater. The movie revolutionized the silent film industry. Folks, have you seen these movies? Talkies, some people are calling them.
Yeah, the ones where the pictures move.
Dude, a train was coming right at us. I'll tell you, I almost died in the mezzanine.
I peed my pants.
I peed someone else's pants. That's how bad it was. Put my thing in their pocket, peed their pants. The joyful relief of the brothers who had bucked critics and naysayers, risking all they owned on the new phenomenon. Sam Warner, in particular, was at the forefront of the development of sound. The first guy to make sound, first guy to discover sound. He poured his life's blood into a new theater, the largest on Hollywood Boulevard and the first built for sound. Sam planned the spectacular opening for their film in Hollywood, but construction delays forced the brothers to open The Jazz Singer in New York. The critics raved, but Sam never lived to hear them. The night before the premiere, he collapsed and died from a cerebral hemorrhage.
Too much sound.
Mezzanine poisoning, claims another victim. Just 40 years old, he literally worked himself to death. Death had cheated Sam on the very eve of the success on which he dreamed, but Sam would not be cheated. Sam Warner's work was not complete, and someone as driven as he was could not leave before the job was done. So back he comes to the theater he loved so much to finish what he'd started. It's the only theater built by hand by a ghost. Security guards have witnessed Sam's ghostly figure crossing the lobby to the elevator, pushing the button, boarding, pushing the button inside, and traveling upstairs to the executive offices.
Where he has his sound experiment lab. I'm just picturing the guy from the Flaming Lips putting speakers at speakers, and
literally he's got a plant in front of a gramophone.
Yeah, each one's playing a different cassette tape. Yeah, because that's the only thing that has the magnetic resonance to create the wormhole he's trying to create.
Yeah, he's got a bell that you can wear like a helmet.
It's science.
Yeah. So it sort of feels like you're turning into a supervillain up here. Soundo will live. Okay. So back he comes. He's walking around. He's taking the elevator up. As long as they've been here, the elevator has gone up and down, quote, by itself. Even local residents have glimpsed Sam through the entry doors, pacing the lobby near where his brothers hung a plaque dedicating the theater to his memory.
How lovely.
I know.
I fear that's going to be me working.
I feel bad for those ghosts. I feel okay. So like the ghost who hung himself because he worked at the theater where he loved it. I get a sense of like, you know, he almost wanted to stay there forever. You know, he couldn't imagine ever leaving this place.
Sure.
And that's like almost beautiful in a way. It's like he wanted to be part of the theater, and that's the only way he could think of to do it.
Yeah.
Obviously
maybe
a very sick and sad,
but that's the lovely thought.
Obviously a very sick and sad person who has maybe found peace. That person need help.
But what I'm saying, intent is what I'm saying of love,
right? That seems like a ghost. That seems like a story that I could live with. Whereas like a guy who's just like, oh, I got so much work to do. It's just a nightmare to me, dude. It's like, oh, be at peace, dude. I know this sucks and you want to see it, but you guys are going to do great.
Like you're inventing sound capture and recording and playing.
The sound experiments worked off. Soundo lives. The number one most haunted place in Hollywood, according to Britannica.com, is the Roosevelt Hotel. Guests of the Roosevelt. I have been there. I didn't want to say it.
I assumed. This is truly a list of places where you've been.
Hey, Hollywood's fun if you get out and check out the old places. Honestly, if you live there, there's a great podcast called You Must Remember This, and I used to listen to it. It's about old Hollywood, like Golden Age Hollywood. I used to listen to it while I was driving around delivering food, and it rocks. It really puts you in the old. The space of like old classic Hollywood.
Yeah. Check it out, listeners.
Yeah, a lot of crazy shit, a lot of crazy stories.
How many hooker deaths?
Bro, that is the secret lifeblood of Los Angeles, not the movie industry. The killings of innocent young hopefuls. Number one, the Roosevelt Hotel. Guests of the Roosevelt are entertained by a plethora of paranormal activity from the hotel's past. Children playing in the hallways, a pianist wearing a white suit and very old shoes, tickling the ivories on the mezzanine. Boy, people loved a mezzanine and still do.
I have sat there once.
In a mezzanine?
I gotta say, it's worth it.
It's pretty nice.
It's worth it.
Guests swimming in the pool after hours, none of whom was of the flesh and blood variety. Marilyn Monroe stayed at the Roosevelt so often that she purchased a full-length antique mirror for her favorite suite above the pool. After her untimely death in 1962, the hotel stored it away. Then, decades later, during a major remodel, employees rediscovered it in the basement. Its history long forgotten and hung it in the lower lobby. Monroe's image has been seen in it regularly. Applying lipstick, primping with her hair, as she must have done hundreds of times while looking into this mirror. One of Monroe's Misfits co-stars, four-time Oscar nominee Montgomery Clift, is also a ghostly resident.
Nice. They can hang out.
Yeah, he sticks close to room 928, his home for several months in 1952 while filming From Here to Eternity. People come from around the world to stay in it on the chance that Clift's spirit will make his presence known. Past residents report the actor's spirited behavior, including ringing the phone incessantly, blaring the radio, turning the heat to over 100 degrees, and practicing the bugle for the eternity roll. He's even shoved a few unsuspecting guests while they slept. Easy, Monty, easy.
Yeah, this is a surly actor.
Dang.
The blaring of the radio seems to be a common thing. The Oxford hotels got that.
Yeah.
It happened to us, actually. I think it was set up by the tour guide. But it is freaky when it fucking happens.
Sure. And those old electrics can short out and stuff like that, but sometimes it happens with new electrics. Well, there you go. That's the 8 most haunted spots in Hollywood, according to Britannica.com. It then leads me into just unprompted articles about Russian and Germanic house spirits, which and a voodoo house spirit, the Iwa. The Britannica, you know me so well. Anyway, that does it for my segment that I'm calling Hooray for Hollywood.
Nice.
And I hereby put a brown derby on the speaking skull and pass it your way.
Perfect.